Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Mike, and this is For the Record. Welcome back to another product review brought to you by Sleeve City. They can be found at sleevecityusa.com. They can also be found on Amazon. So, product review today, brought to you by Sleeve City, is a goat's hair record cleaning brush. What is it? Is it effective? So basically, they would SleeveCityUSA.com was generous enough to send me not one but two of their goat's hair record cleaning brushes. I requested two because I wanted to use it for what Sleeve City recommends it to do, but also I wanted to put it through a couple of other tests. I had shot this video once already, left out some details, so I want to shoot it a second time to make sure that those details are on this video, and hopefully I don't have to shoot this again. Shouldn't be that long of a video, but nonetheless, I'm going to get right to it. Okay, so Sleeve City's goat's hair record cleaning brush, quite a mouthful. So it basically, it's not to be confused and not to this isn't meant to replace an anti-static brush. This is really, I was kind of skeptical about using it, but I actually found out that it actually is effective and it actually works. Again, this Sleeve City's goat's hair record cleaning brush is not meant to replace an anti-static brush. What this does is it's soft enough, okay? It's soft enough, yet rigid enough to clean a record before you use it. And what it does is I was actually quite impressed. It actually works quite well. Again, not to replace your anti-static brush. I actually added a step to cleaning my record because I do this and then I use my anti-static brush. So this is really good because it gets really deep into your vinyl record grooves. It's soft enough yet rigid enough to do that. You can actually, as you're using it, you can actually see the dust that it's getting out of the grooves. You can actually see it, which I was quite impressed. Now, when you're using this, you could either use it before you put it on your turntable platter. If you decide to do it after you put the record on your turntable, I don't suggest, if you have a turntable that will spin automatically, I don't suggest doing this as the platter is spinning, because it kind of adds strain to your, it would add some strain to your motor. You kind of, you have to press down, but you do have to use a little pressure. So what I suggest doing is either doing this before you put the record on your platter mat, or on your turntable, or if you decide to do it after you put it on your turntable, I suggest, and this is what I do, I actually manually push the platter and then I use this brush. And I just kind of couple of motions this way, the same way you use the anti-static brush, just a little more pressure, and you can actually see the dirt, the grime or whatever on the record, and then scoot them off the record. So it actually is quite effective. It works very well. So what I'm going to tell you next is what I did with my second brush. Was I was looking for a goat's hair brush, because I know goat's hair is actually, it's very good for your records, and it's safe. I wanted to see if it would in fact clean, as a deep clean, using whatever clean you decide to use. I have my own. I use it's distilled water and like 1 or 2 drops in the container. Okay, that's for my deep cleaning. And I do that, and I actually take the brush and I actually aggressively, in circular motions, go around the brush and then kind of wash it a couple other ways. So that's for deep cleaning, okay? Not to be confused with what I would generally use. A lot of us have our own concentration of just normally cleaning your records. But this, using it as aggressive as I was using it, it did not damage my records. It did not cause any scratches. It didn't cause any noticeable damage that I could see. The records played fine after. But I do my deep cleaning, and then I do my regular cleaning, just to get whatever soap that's left on the record. I just clean it out. And this actually worked rather well. It really got in there, cleaned it out, and I actually still use a regular pass. You know what I mean? A lot of steps to clean your records if you so decide to. But again, how I'm talking about deep cleaning the record isn't recommended by Sleeve City, because this is obviously a wood handle, and what it would do, it absorbs water. So it did absorb the water, and it did react the way I had expected it to react. It swelled up a little bit, but for all intents and purposes, the bristles pretty much stayed in place. But again, I don't recommend doing that, because eventually it's going to damage it, and it's going to split, and it won't be usable anymore. Again, Sleeve City does not recommend that. I just want to do that on my own. For my next point, there are one or two things that I'd like to see different on this, and just my personal opinion. Sleeve City or all of you may or may not agree. For that purpose, I would rather, and I'm not aware of Sleeve City selling a plastic brush that is a goat's hair record cleaning brush. I'm not aware of it. But for that reason, for deep cleaning a record, I'd like to see Sleeve City have a plastic or some sort of composite handle with the same diameter. This diameter works. The height of these bristles work very well, because some brushes, they're a little longer and they're very floppy. The only thing I would change, or even add, it might be another product they can make, is I would like to see a composite or some sort of plastic handle, so if somebody wants to deep clean their records as I do, you can add soap and water, or whatever your process is that or your liquids you use, or cleaning liquids you use for your records. For that reason, I like to see this in a different material. Okay, but as far as cleaning the dust, it works absolutely fine. It does what it's supposed to do. So that's what I like to see different. I'd also like to see a more aerodynamic shape, almost like a carved, almost like indented, so when you hold on to it, because this is very square, not, it's just my own, this is what I like to see different. It's very square and rigid. It's a very dense wood. Okay, it's not soft wood, it's a very hard, dense wood, which is fine. But I like to see something maybe a little more rounder, something you could hold on to. Okay, that's just my own taste. It doesn't take away from what the product is supposed to do. So with that said, I wanted to, and also Sleeve City's goat's hair record cleaning brush retails for, I think it's about $15.99. It's well worth it, they sent me two, and I thank you. Retails for $15.99. I absolutely recommend it. There was one downside. There was one thing that I noticed that it didn't really affect it too much, but it is going to affect my overall score. For the simple fact that in the beginning, I noticed that a lot of the hairs come out. Now, I even right now I'm looking at one. They don't come out, like, they don't continuously come out, like if you brush them together and get them loosened up, they'll fall out. But I noticed when I was using it, some of the hairs were falling out, but that stopped. It didn't continue. I can't tell you how many records I did, but the hairs did fall out, and that's kind of a downside. But I don't know if it's manufacturing process. I don't know if it's a defect or whatever. I'm not sure if anybody else has complained about that to Sleeve City, but the hairs do fall out. But again, they don't continuously fall out. It does, as far as from what I can tell, for the past I don't know, few days or whatever that I'm using it, the hair seemed to stop falling out. So with that said, that will affect my overall score, but it does do. Sleeve City's Goat's Hair Record Cleaning Brush does do what it's supposed to do. It gets deep into the record grooves. It gets some of the hidden grime. You can actually see as you're cleaning it, as you're wiping it, you can actually see some of the particles coming out. And again, I don't want anybody to think that this replaces. This does not replace your anti-static brush. You still need to use your anti-static brush if you currently use one. So the product description is, it keeps your vinyl collection in perfect condition with regular light brushing before each play. Our new Goat's Hair record brush might be the most effective brush we've encountered. 3 rows of very dense all-natural goat's hair removes dust with just 1 or 2 passes. You gotta be a little aggressive with it, you know, and it's not a light pass. You do have to. Anyway, the hair is very soft yet firm enough to wipe the dust off your record. I totally agree. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. Attractive wood handle gives it a nice look. Again, I would change the shape. I would change the shape of it, but that's really, you know, I mean, that's just the shape, make it a little more rounder, a little more aerodynamic. But it also said that it's self-cleaning, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, you don't have to, like, from what I can tell, you don't have to, like, you don't use it and then rinse it underwater, and then let it dry. It just, I think what they mean is it doesn't cause static, like I almost said electricity. It doesn't cause static, and so things aren't going to stick to it, I think is what they mean. But it's self-cleaning, very nice. Again, retails for about $15.99, and with everything I said about it, you know, I give it a 4 out of 5 stars for the simple fact that the hair falls out. It hasn't continued. I'm not sure if it will in the future, but Sleeve City's Goat's Hair Record Cleaning Brush, I recommend it. You know, with the side of some of the hairs falling out. Again, that stops, and as of right now, that has not continued. But again, I recommend it. Absolutely recommend it. You can find on SleeveCityUSA.com or also on Amazon. If you go on Amazon, just be sure that you are buying Sleeve City Goat's Hair Brush, because there are a few out there that are similar but quite different. But if you go directly to Amazon, just make sure it's sold by Sleeve City, or you can simply go to SleeveCityUSA.com. Goat's Hair Record Cleaning Brush. I recommend it. 4 out of 5 stars. Simple fact that some of the hair falls out, but it stops. And I think that's everything. Like I said, I'd missed a few things, a few details in my first video, so I'm correcting that now. And hopefully all of you go out and grab one. I totally recommend it. I'm not sure if it means anything. If you tell them that For the Record recommended it, go ahead and do that. That'll show them that my videos are being watched, and you know, I absolutely totally recommend this. SleeveCityUSA.com. Sleeve City's Goat's Hair Record Cleaning Brush. You should get one. As always, be kind to others. Peace. Have a good weekend, everyone.